Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Also, we are new here. So today we are here in Tampa, of course, and you can hear from the music and where we are. We are here to watch Metallica tonight, June 8th with Pantera, and also I do believe it is Suicidal Tendencies, I do believe. Yeah, this will be a super awesome concert. See Metallica once again. I did post a video from the Tampa Florida in Ybor City, but now it is time for the concert roll. We got a little bit of time. Right now it is 1:59, and I believe the gates do open at 4 and the concert is at 6, so probably a big time gap between now and like then, but still it's gonna be an awesome time, so come on with me. All right guys, now start off over here at this big old tour bus over here with merchandise, M72 World Tour. Now one of the shirts that I wanted to get, I actually did get a shirt at the pop-up shop, but the one I want to get specifically for today is actually sold out right there. It's number F. So cool, look at that thing. They only have smalls and mediums. And take a look at this, guys. This is super awesome. You know, this is just for merchandise. This is awesome. M72 World Tour, Metallica, 72 seasons. Oh, that's awesome, man. Also, my gate today will be the Suzuki Marine. Okay, guys, so I've now come over to the metal detectors over here, which is not open just yet. Again, opens at 4 o'clock, so got a little bit of time. But one of the biggest things over here in Tampa is people actually talking about the bag policy. And I've been reading the past couple days about different kind of stadiums Metallica has been to, and so far I've been reading this one has been the most brutal as far as like bag policies. There's nothing. You can only have this amount of size over here, like an envelope. I do have my fanny pack. I'll actually show you it as well, and like what I actually brought with me today. I'm actually filming on my phone as well, just to be a little more mobile. But yeah, it's very strict over here. All right, guys. Now over here in the shade, this is actually a very nice area over here. Also, like has like a little table, but in my fanny pack, it's very mobile. All I have is like 2 battery chargers. I have my cable, some headphones, and that's really it. My wallet's in my back pocket, and I'll probably put my keys in here too later on. But yeah, and also here are my chargers. Both of these actually came from Walmart, and they're actually pretty good. The on brand. This one was about $10 to $12. It's actually pretty nice, and this one's almost around the same price, if not a little bit cheaper. Let me tell you guys, this one I've had for like at least a year now. This thing works like magic. All right, guys, some time has passed, and we are now here at the stadium. This is actually the 3rd level. I actually just want to come up here and see the views. I'm actually on 227, but this is actually 327. Yeah, really high views over here. And here is the city of Tampa. That's pretty cool. I can also see like more stuff down this way. And I believe Clearwater's down this way. There's that big old bridge down there. Another day for more explorations, but today is Metallica. Well, all right, guys, now going down the ramps down here. You do have the escalator right there, but just gonna head down the ramps. It's actually kind of peaceful down here. And I also did acquire the actual shirt for today. Actually has Tampa, Florida on there. And I think it says June 8th on there, but there is 2 different shirts for both of the days. So I actually had a little experience with my actual cup, with like a little Tampa Bay Buccaneers cup I actually bought here at the stadium, and I had it with me. I was actually going to security, they told me to throw it away. I was like, what the heck, I actually bought it here. And they're like, nope. I was like, that sucked, guys. Well, I might be buying another one, depends what they actually have here tonight, because I do want to have something during the concert tonight. But man, that kind of sucked, because I actually went to the actual help desk over here inside the stadium. It was like, yeah, the people that actually run the security out there is a whole different operation than the operation that actually runs inside the stadium. I'm like, well, dang, that kind of sucks. But anyways, I'm not going to deter me because it's just a copy, but still, it's kind of dumb. All right, guys, I've now come to the concession stands over here. You have the gallery and Captain's Grill over here. I'm actually pretty close, actually where I was in Monster Jam, around this area in 227. But I am going to try to buy another cup, and also it's actually themed to Metallica over here. I'm actually going to show you the menu. It's kind of cool. And look at this. This is the menu. M72. This is pretty cool right here. I love that. Well, all right, guys. So I showed you concession stands, and also close to what I have for my view is right here. Take a look at this thing. Oh my gosh. That is so cool, guys. You can see 72 up there for 72 seasons. And also the silhouette for the city. I believe that's supposed to be Tampa. That is pretty cool. I've actually never been to the other side, to the pirate ship I may walk over there to see what it's all about. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And also here is my section, 227. I think I'm like seat 19 or like row S, I think. Something like that. But yeah, I'm in a pretty good area. Pretty close to concession stands, and also I did end up actually getting myself a refillable cup. It was only like $15 and change after tax. Honestly, that is not a bad deal because one regular drink is like $8, so might as well get a souvenir cup for the whole night. Also, I did ask a lady, she said, yeah, it's actually per day. It's actually not an actual souvenir cup like, you know, theme parks, but it's just for the actual day itself. So now I get it. Well, all right, guys, so about 5 minutes left till the concert act starts. I'm assuming the order would be Suicidal Tendencies, Pantera, then Metallica. At least that's what I assume the order would be. But yeah, really excited for this. And also, it is super hot, man. Like, I think it's like 92, but man, it's so different. Like, even though I go to theme park slot, this just hits different. Like, in that corner back here, there's just like loads of people just hiding. Look at that. But yeah, super excited for this. Couple minutes left. Alright guys, just watched Suicidal Tendencies for the very first time. I thought they were pretty good. There's a lot going on that, I don't know, it sounded very mixed. It was like really hard to like understand it, but next up is Pantera. Really excited for this one. just got done playing. That was super awesome to see Pantera play, and also, of course, Zakk Wylde. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and try to use the bathroom and also get a real refill. Then make my way back to the seat and see Metallica.
Do you feel it, Tampa Bay?
right, guys, it is now the next day. I tell you guys, I'm still pretty tired and recouping from yesterday. When I got home at like 1:15, 1:30, and had to work at 6 in the morning, I was pretty tired, not going to lie. But you know what? All is well, because it was super worth it, guys. And just being out there in the sun like that, it was pretty draining, not gonna lie. It just hit different out there with the heat. Ain't like going to the theme parks all the time, but something about being out there, it was just super hot. But you know what? All is well. It was an amazing experience. Suicidal Tendencies, they were pretty good, but really don't listen to them that much. If you like once in a blue moon 50 years. Pantera, they were really awesome, and of course Zakk Wylde. I was thinking, like, you know what, I'm probably going to go see Black Label Society to see him, but I didn't. I got to see him with Pantera, super cool, and of course Metallica, man, that was super awesome. Supposedly, they might be coming back to Tampa in the future. Lars actually came back to the stage at the very end. I saw in a clip, and he says, not soon enough about coming back, something like that, so I'm not sure when that is, but still, if they do come back to Tampa, that's going to be very awesome to see. And I will probably be there if they do come back to Tampa. So we'll see about that one. But anyways, before I actually end the video, I'm going to show you these two shirts first. So let's get into that. Okay, guys. So here is the shirt. It's like this like Kraken style creature over here. Super awesome. Look at that. It's very like Tampa-ish, but Metallica. Super awesome. Comes to the bottom, M72 North America Tour 2025. Yeah, that thing is super awesome. And here is it. It's an XL. Wherever I may roam. Kind of catchy. But yeah, this is the North American Tour shirt over here. And I'll show you the back. And here is the back of the shirt. Pretty plain, but right up here I do have Metallica. Tampa 2025, because they actually had 2 dates. All right, guys, so here is the second shirt here. This is actually for the actual day-to-day I went June 8th. There's a whole nother design for the Friday concert, but yeah, this thing's super awesome. Tampa, Florida, M72 North America Tour. Also, it's kind of wrinkled up because it was balled up, because at the Tampa Stadium, you cannot have any bags or anything. So yeah, it was a little rough, but you know, I'm gonna wash it, take care of the thing. It's super awesome. And with these kind of shirts, you actually gotta like size yourself up because of like the style and the cut. You know, some shirts you actually have to go a size up. So that's that. Yeah, it's super awesome. And I'll show you the back. Here it is, Sunday, 6/8/2025. Yeah, this is the actual data one right back here. And take a look at the logo. It has like crust on it, like seashells or something like that. It's kind of cool. Well, all right, guys, it is now time to wrap it up here today from yesterday's video. It was a long one. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a long one. I'm not sure how much I'm actually going to put from the concert because, like, copyright and stuff, but I do want to show y'all a good bit of stuff, like things I've captured, favorite parts and songs and stuff. So we'll see what I put in there, but I think it's gonna be a really good video, hopefully. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me on this really awesome, amazing adventure to see Metallica in Tampa, Sunday, June 8th, 2025. There was only one of them. That was super awesome, guys. Thank you all so much for joining me on this adventure. I will see you guys in the next one.